Snap to Love with time. Now forced to scramble right. Chased by Chris Jones. Throws right side for Randall Cobb. Makes a leaping grab. Outside the numbers of the 45 of Kansas City. What a play by Randall Cobb to adjust to a pop fly down the right side.
All right, welcome back, 41 North Pod. Trevor, Mario. We're talking Packer football. Coming off a loss here this week, Mario. What did you think of the Chiefs game?
I thought our defense played really well. So I'm excited with what I saw there. I thought it was Matt's worst game plan as being the head coach for the Green Bay Packers. I don't quite know what went into the game plan, but for some reason it didn't seem like they had much of a game plan. Like, I can't really believe that they didn't think that they were going to blitz Jordan Love like that. But I guess I don't know if that really falls on the game plan, on Jordan Love, I guess both. But other than that, offense looked like shit. It didn't really – I just feel like we abandoned the run way too early. What did you think? Did you think we abandoned the run a little bit early?
I don't know. I don't know, get into, knowing what the coaches know and knowing, the tendencies of the other team, what they do, what they're likely to do, what they're likely not to do. I was also disappointed that we didn't adjust to, just try to stop the blitz because they were doing it and then it was working, so they just kept on doing it. Usually a team would adjust and they'd have to change it up a little bit, but we just kind of couldn't adjust to that, it seemed like. I'm not mad. I kind of wanted to let Jordan Love loose a little bit, so I wasn't mad on those drives where he started throwing a little bit more. Hindsight, yeah, we should have probably ran the ball more. I'm hoping they get back. Last time they did that where Matt felt like he got away from the pass, he said we're making a concerted effort to do the run this way, and he did that earlier in this year, and he's likely to do it again this week, I think, where they're going to lean heavily on both of our good running backs.
Yeah, I just think that A.J. Dillon got going, and then as soon as he got going, we kind of just went away from that. So, but like you said, I don't know more than Matt. I don't study during the week as much as Matt. I'm just, I guess, most disappointed in regards to, like you said, not kind of switching something up or making a change to kind of correct that blitz package that was coming on third down.
Yeah, I think, and I was also disappointed with the offensive line. It seemed like the team rallied around Jordan Love and they gave a good effort and whatnot. Defense gave a great effort, but the offensive line, I feel like Jordan Love down a little bit, especially the interior of the offensive line with all the pressure he was getting. So it'll be interesting to see with Bakhtiari likely playing this week now. We're bringing him back. How they're going to shuffle the starters for this week. I guess we could talk about that. But back to the Chiefs game. My biggest takeaway out of it was basically that I'm not worried about any team in the AFC once we get to the Super Bowl. That was my biggest take out of it. In hindsight, we probably should have been. Everybody was real worried about that Cardinals game. The Cardinals are a good team, and we didn't have Devontae. It felt like people felt better about the Chiefs game.
Or Lazar.
But it felt like people felt better about the Chiefs.
Darius or Jair.
We probably shouldn't have felt as good about the Chiefs game as we did. I'm not sold one way or another on Love. It's hard to evaluate under those circumstances. So, I'm not out on Love at all. I'd like to see him get some more playing time at some point this year. Not hoping anything happens to Rodgers, but you got to feel like the team knows with Rodgers, we obviously probably win that game, and it's going to look a lot different. I can see the team not feeling down about that game at all. You know what I mean?
Probably win that game. I think
oh yeah,
plays they win that game by who knows how much. Not even close. The Chiefs are a bad football team. Patrick Mahomes does not look the same. And I said that last week. I said that the Chiefs were a garbage team, and they are. When you're missing the best quarterback in the game, and you lose, so it is what it is. And in all reality, we probably should have won the game if our long snapper knew how to snap the ball. Our new long snapper at that.
Well, yeah, special teams really let the team down in that one. So I'm not taking I'm not too disappointed. I'm not too down on the team after that game at all. It was a loss, 7-2. Really liked what I seen out of Chris Barnes. Probably gives you a little insight why they let Jalen Smith walk. He looked good. The rest of the defense actually looked good, especially losing a couple more players. But it sounds like we're going to get some guys back here soon. I guess.
King looked great.
Yeah.
Loved what I saw from King. Love how TJ stepped up when Kenny went out of the game and was making plays on the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very impressed with the defense, especially with how much injuries they've had throughout the year, and they continue just to step up. Gooch just making great pickups. Campbell looked amazing again. Safeties look amazing again. Corners, I mean, they're holding up. They're doing what they got to do against, Tyreek and this explosive Kansas City offense. And this is the least amount of yards Patrick Mahomes has ever thrown for in a game. There's defense. So that's something to say. Obviously, we didn't score the points that we would like to. But, I mean, in all reality, what our defense give up, 10 points because of the turnover. If anything, that's a positive for the D because they were on such a short field and held them to a field goal.
Yeah, I guess putting the Kansas City game behind us is looking like Rodgers is going to play Sunday against Seahawks at home. As we haven't really talked.
Sure about that yet.
Yeah, it looks like COVID kind of did a number on unvaccinated Rodgers. So we'll see. It sounds like he's on track to play though. But we haven't talked since all the stuff with whole Aaron Rodgers, little out there views on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's a moron. He has some of the worst views I've ever heard. And that he's not willing to take the vaccine, but he's willing to take whatever medicine Joe Rogan recommends. But who am I to tell the guy? His body, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the my body, my choice when it applies to something that you can pass to people unwillingly. So yeah, aside from Rodgers, goofy Pat McAfee show interviews. You got to separate the art from the artist, I guess, with this guy now. I used to be a Rodgers fan on and off the field. Now it's a little bit more on the field, I would say. So this is even gonna make an even crazier story to the championship. I mean, it's gonna be an epic when this book is written at the end of the year. Especially another developing chapter today that's gonna be part of this championship run that's really gonna mess people up with the Odell Beckham shit.
I don't think that's a chapter.
Well, no, I just think not so much him, but the stupid all-in narrative. Oh, they didn't get Odell Beckham. They must not be all in. They must not want to win the championship. So when we do win the championship at the end of the year,
I don't know if you heard the quote from Odell, but he said after talking to the Packers, he didn't feel like they were all
in. Odell didn't feel like the Packers were all in?
Yeah.
That's good. That's what I like to hear. So he can keep perpetuating that, every person in the Packers organization's not got one goal, and that's to win the championship. And knowing they got the team to do it with or without Odell. I like our team without Odell.
What happened to Aaron being able to be such a good recruiter? I heard he talked to Odell. But I mean, people don't want to come to Green Bay to play, be a Packer. They want to come play with Aaron. But that guy just chose Matthew Stafford.
Well, I personally think you couldn't have two personalities like Rodgers and Odell on the field at the same time. They're both a little loopy, I think, at the end of the day. A little kind of out there. Crazy.
He said the reason he chose the Rams is because McVay said how he was going to use his talent, and the Packers didn't seem like they were all in.
Well, he probably had a conversation with Matt or something, and Matt told his ass, yeah, we got 5 good receivers here. So, yeah, we'll try to fit you in. We might get you a few balls, but I know we'll see what we can fucking do. Where McVay, all hyperly sold him, yeah, we'll get you the ball every play. Don't worry about it, and It's whatever. Fine, they can have Jalen Ramsey and Odell. They need to load up for the Packers in the playoffs, and that is their goal. Make no mistake about it. They're loading up to try to beat the Packers because the Packers are still the team to beat.
Does Odell know that Deshaun Jackson just left because he was claiming about not getting enough balls?
I don't. Odell's kind of like a Kanye West type of dude, like a Kyrie Irving dude. Like you don't really know where his mind's at.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a great. Yeah, I like that comparison. Yeah, he
So
is. I've never been high on Odell. I don't want him taking snaps from MVS or Lazar. He can't block like Lazar. He's not explosive like MVS.
I'm not going to not go. I mean,
he has a 50% catch percentage, which is lower than MVS. So, yeah, I'm sure Packer fans would love to see him just come here and drop all the balls. His numbers, if you look at them, they're on a steady decline. And then, he blames it on Baker. He's another Aaron Rodgers, too, where nothing's ever his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. But Baker looked damn good playing with People Jones last week. So
Odell was a great player at one time. I guess that's a question mark right now.
I don't think that's a question mark at all. I mean, go look at his stats from the last 3 years and tell me if he's elite.
Well, injuries definitely have derailed his career, and there is an argument you could make.
That's part of the game. If you're not playing, you're not contributing.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying he was an elite receiver, and I think injuries really derailed his career. And now, at this point in his career, like, you could definitely make the argument, like you are, that he's not anything close to what he used to be. Whatever. Either way, the Packers weighed the risk reward in the situation, and we reached out. So I'm of the opinion, like, would I love to have Odell? Great, yeah, sure. But am I mad we didn't get him? Not at all. Are the Packers mad they didn't get him? Not at all. So I'm not. That's just another blip. I'm
kind of the other way where I never wanted him. I thought he was going to be a horrible fit in the locker room. To me, he's always been an eye guy and not a team guy. Just more of, looking at the highlights and wanting his name in the star. So I think, LA's a good spot for him. He can go out, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to catch charter planes to go out at night. He can go out to his, favorite clubs, nightlife spots. So good for him. I don't think he would have ever been a good fit for the Packers. I think he's a trash player. I think his numbers show that. And I'm really glad that the Packers didn't get him.
At the end of the day, I'm good with the team we got, and we're still going to win a ship. So yeah, I'm not good with us signing any receiver as long as we haven't signed Devontae to another deal right now. So, like I said, the Rams, they're loading up. They're going all in as opposed, and they're still not going to beat the Packers. So, it's going to be important to come down to the wire here if we can get that home field advantage in the playoffs, because you got to understand they're going to be there. But there's other good NFC teams as well.
I don't know that they're going to be there.
That's a bowl. I assume that I think that the Rams would make the playoffs, but
I didn't say they're going to make the playoffs. But we're going to have a first round bye. They're not going to. They might lose the first round.
There's a lot.
Guarantee that they. I mean, did you see them play last week? They didn't look like this super team to me.
There's a lot of more better teams, I think, in the NFC than there is the AFC. We'll find out about the Rams in a couple of weeks, and that'll be fun to play against Odell and Jalen and Donald and them. I like the narrative that the Packers aren't going all in because that's just going to make the Super Bowl at the end of the year that much better.
Well, I think people are already fucked for the simple fact is the most dangerous Aaron Rodgers is one that feels like the world's against him, and dude feels like that right now. So watch out, NFL, because dude is going to be coming to play. Because, I mean, he said he's an athlete, not an activist.
Yeah, conveniently after he got the backlash and Purveya dropped him, and he told people to make personal choices, listen to their doctor, even though 98% of doctors are vaccinated. So yeah, people do listen to your doctors, and when you do that, more often than not, you're going to get vaccinated because that's vast majority of medical field's opinion on the situation. So regardless of what Aaron Rodgers says, yeah, I'm definitely glad he's back to sticking to football. So I agree with you. Aaron Rodgers, chip on his shoulder. He's always had that narrative going where, between the draft and Favre and everything else, where he needed some kind of chip on his shoulder. The relaxed season, the run the table season. Now you got the unvaxxed season. So, yeah, we're we're definitely, and the team seems like he said the team knew, and they probably accept the guy's kind of goofy, and he's a great quarterback though, so he kind of does what he does him, and we'll listen to his wild shit, and go into the Super Bowl. Should have done it a couple more times. The way the guy kind of thinks of himself, you would think he's like a multiple Super Bowl winner, just automatic, gold jacket, first round ballot. The way he carries himself, but as long as he goes and gets another one this year, then we'll see from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, people are going to think that we hit the free agent market as soon as Darius and Jair come back, because we already look like a top 5 defense without our, arguably our, top 2 defensive players. But nobody talks about that. They just like to talk about Devontae and Aaron like they're the only 2 players on the football team, even though the Packers are 7-0 without Devontae on the field. But whatever. But I just think when Za'Darius and Jair come back, and if they're both back for the playoffs, the way this defense has been playing, watch the fuck out. Watch the fuck out.
Rodgers talked about how the offense was getting better each week and starting to hit its groove. So I think him being out of the building for 10 days, COVID kicking his ass a little bit, even if he does come back, he might be a little woozy coming back. So I think as long as the Packers can rely on their run game, they'll be fine on offense. But offense is going to come along. Like, those guys are going to gel. We got playmakers all over the field. And like you said, a top 5 playing defense right now that's going to get better guys back. Offensive line's getting one of their best players back. I think, or I hope, the offensive line, I guess, what would you like to see how they come out this week? I guess, my overall point being that the Packers, like you said, great defense, offense is going to get there. It might not be this week with the offense, but how do you think they come out with the offensive line with Bakhtiari back?
If it was me, call me crazy, but I'm going to go, obviously, Bach at left tackle, right? I'm going to keep Runyon at left tackle.
Left guard?
Left guard, yeah, sorry. Left guard. And then I'm going to put Elton at right guard, Turner at right tackle, and then whatever the center situation is, Patrick or Myers. How long is Myers out for?
It doesn't sound like he's going to be back anytime soon. I think, my ideal.
I don't like that because I like making our offensive line the best that it is, and I don't want Runyon having to change positions when he's already been playing super well at left guard, where we know Ellen can just go do whatever, and he's going to be. I mean, the guy plays left tackle, top 3 in the league. He plays center, top 3 in the league. He plays fucking guard, top 3 in the league. Just put the guy wherever, whatever. I'm fine with whatever, but I just think that's how I would do it if I was coach.
I've heard the argument for putting Elton at center. I guess my opinion or what I would like to see is Bakhtiari back at left tackle, where he's, I'd like to put Elton back next to him. Like, that left side is just ridiculous. They guys played together a lot. Keep Patrick at center, Runyon to right guard, and I really don't see how you could move Billy Turner out of right tackle at this point. So, and then with that being said, no. Well, with that being said, you really evaluate Patrick this week then and see, like, if he is struggling, you got to wonder about, bringing in
I mean, the person that looks like they're struggling
Newman again.
most to me on the offensive line is Newman.
Yeah, so
He
that's why
started
I
out
was looking at
good,
that.
but currently he looks like he's struggling the most. And I mean, me personally, I'd rather have just a complete solid O line than like a dominant left side. That's just me personally.
Well, I think with the right side, when you got Runyon and Billy Turner, I think that's a dominant line. I just think you just got to wonder about Patrick.
I just like helping out on both sides, putting one of the best guys on each side, and just really holding it down on both sides, personally.
I wouldn't mind seeing because as long as Elton's here, I mean, I don't mind them trying to turn him into a right tackle. So this would be a little out there, and I agree that it'd be hard to move Billy Turner at right tackle, but I would not mind seeing Bakhtiari left tackle, Elton right tackle, with Runyon and Billy at the. That's I don't know. I doubt that's going to be the.
I wouldn't necessarily be against that.
I doubt that's real because you got to one. I mean, we just signed Bakhtiari. He's here, coming off the injury, and as long as he's playing well, he's got to know he's got that left side locked down for as long as he's here. So I think the most valuable other spot for Elton would be that right side. So I mean, and he's a powerful enough guy. Like the dude's a stud. I mean, Elgton Jenkins, and a good interview. Dude said he wanted to be our backup quarterback. I love the guy. I hope we get keep him on our team for a long time.
Facts. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I mean, whatever the team thinks is the best, I'm aboard for.
So that'll be interesting to see how they work that. I definitely want to see some MVS bombs this week. We'll be at Lambeau again this week for Seattle. First time back at Lambeau in a while. Actually, it looked like possibly some snow in the forecast for Sunday, which would be pretty cool.
Would love to see that.
But I wanted the Packers to come out and give Seattle a dose of what they used to be with that real physical team and really run the ball down their throat and defense just clamp down. And I want to see Russell back. I like playing against that guy. I'd like to see.
It's not you want to see Russell back. He's back.
Well, I look forward to seeing Gary chasing that dude all over the field. So that should be fun.
He said he was working 19 hours a day on that finger to cut the healing time in half.
Well, Russell, drinking that miracle water, way better medical team than old A-Raj, obviously. They recommended him to get vaccinated at least.
Yeah, he seems to, hasn't caught COVID either. But, Rodgers is just at Halloween parties, no mask on, just living it up as, his favorite guy, John Wick.
I hope the injuries don't affect Stokes, and I hope Kenny Clark is back. If Kenny's playing, he's going to dominate that Seattle offensive line. So that's going to be fun to see. Looking forward to this week.
I mean, I got to give some props to my boy Lowry and Lancaster. I mean, I shed a lot of hate on those guys, and Lancaster had a nice stop on the goal line the other day, and Barnes just stopped the guy. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about them, but I'm happy with the way that they're playing this year. I guess we'll see if it lasts. I don't believe it will last, but I just don't want to be that guy that always hates on them. And then when they do something good, I'm not giving them any credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Lowry's been a little banged up, but he has played okay as of late. And then it was good to. I liked seeing Slayton in there getting those snaps last week, and he looked pretty decent as well. So,
I mean, I like to see him play, but I don't necessarily want to see him get more snaps because then that means probably my guy Kenny's out.
Yeah. Kenny's been dominant this year. Hope he can stay healthy. The road to the ship is getting interesting. Every week we're gonna have something to talk about now with Rodgers having an interview with McAfee every week. He's now saying something wild, and
I think he's gonna tone that down after his last interview this Tuesday. Seems like he's kind of like gonna. What did my guy say? There's wisdom in silence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
going
I
to be
think
a
he's
little bit
gonna go
more.
with. Yeah, he's gonna go with that a little bit more after the last one. They said he wasn't too happy about the outrage. I wish he would have just got on there, been like, "Yeah, I got these allergies, can't take it." You know what I'm saying? I don't really trust Johnson and Johnson. You know their history. I'd have been like, "Okay, I kind of get that. Whatever." You know what I'm saying? And just left it at that. He didn't have to go into that whole fucking tirade thing. He didn't have to do all that.
No, when you start
Because of
mentioning
his
woke mobs and
buzzwords and shit.
cancel
Yeah.
culture, and yeah, you
Because I'm
lost me
woke
as
mob
well.
and cancel culture. If you are a celebrity and you want to say some dumbass shit, being a celebrity is not a fucking right. It is a privilege. And if you do some dumb, ignorant ass shit as a celebrity and you put that shit out there to the world and the world decides that they don't like that and they want to cancel your ass, fucking I'm all for it. I'm all fucking for it. I don't give a fuck. I'm for cancel culture. I'm for, and I'm part of the
Being
woke mob.
Mario's coming for you.
Like if taking a vaccine is part of the woke mob, sign me up.
Well, I guess
Sign me up.
the entire medical field is basically part of the woke mob, according to Aaron Rodgers.
And
So,
that's the woke mob I want to be a part of. Because they seem to save people's life on a daily basis. So I want to be part of the woke mob.
I don't know, the Packers aren't canceling them at quarterback, so I guess if cancel culture is Purveya medical group or whatever dropping you, I guess that is cancel culture. So, whatever.
When you say something, I mean, that would be like basically what Aaron Rodgers did for all you people that need help understanding the situation, okay? That'd be like him, partnering with Wendy's and be like, don't ever go get the junior bacon cheeseburger. It is the worst sandwich. I don't know why people like junior bacon cheeseburgers. You wouldn't expect the company to keep him on. And like the guy just shit on all the medical research done and they're a hospital. What are they supposed to do? Keep him on? Say, oh yeah, this guy is doing great for our business.
No, I said at the time,
idiot.
I told you right after the interview, like Rodgers just did more for the anti-vax community than Fox News could ever dream of, because all like the non-political football fans are now getting it too. Like, the Fox News people already been not got the vaccine.
And then what hurts it even more is he is known as a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's not
those people that you're talking about now, they're looking like, oh, Aaron, he probably knows what he's talking about. He's talking about 500-page reports that he paid out of for his own pocket and shit. Like,
well, it's like most conspiracy people where they put enough nuggets of truth in there to like oh yeah, that that's right. Or yeah, pharmaceutical companies shady history, basically evil, in it for money. Yeah, all true. They also can make life-saving drugs. So when he says like, the pharmaceuticals industry's history, or if he says like we really should be putting emphasis in this country for public health on like diet and exercise and things like that, why aren't we talking about that? Or yeah, good point. We should be. At the same time, that doesn't mean that there's not like 500,000 people dying of COVID. So, yeah, we should get the vaccine and we should do that. So there was certain things in there that he was talking about, like, oh yeah, that is true. But then you come back with some other wild thing about Joe Rogan or something. So he just kind of canceled, talking out both sides of his mouth, basically.
I mean, when you talk about, them saying people should be healthier, I think that is a big kick going on right now. I think everybody, not everybody's on it, but everybody kick that's going on in America right now. One. Two, it's so funny. The same people that he shit on about the vaccine, when he got sick with COVID, what did he do? Yeah, he called Joe Rogan, but he also called, he also called the pharmacy to go pick up some drugs. So, like you said, it was just a lot of outside of both ends.
He may not have, because he got the holistic shit.
No, he said he took ivermectin. He said he took zinc. He said he took hydrochloroquine. He said he took all that stuff. You can't go get that from a holistic doctor. You have to go to Walgreens to get that shit. You have to go to CVS to get that shit. You have to order that shit and get it from one of them delivery pharmacies. That's big pharma. The same people you're talking about making the vaccine is these same people that you are quick to take all their drugs and put in your body. It blows my mind. Blows my mind, Trev.
I used to love Rodgers for being, he seemed like a, intellectually curious kind of guy. And especially, this year I was down with the whole Zen and introspective looking at himself and fixing on work on his mentals. I was down with all that, even the growing out his hair and yoga, whatever, go for it, dude. With all that. And then, love the fact that I don't think he's ever come out as an atheist per se, but, he's basically known as like a free thinker, interested in the universe, stuff like that. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm down with this guy. But then when he goes on a tirade talking about it's your body, you do you, and then starts coming out, with stats about the Johnson & Johnson and the pharma industry, he kind of lost me. Keep it simple. Keep it like, yep, I'm allergic to the stuff in the two. Yep. I didn't really want the other one. Okay, yep, good, fine. You argued with the NFL, you lost. You got to be considered unvaccinated. I would accept that. But he went above and beyond and kind of lost some of my respect and fandom.
The guy's a blatant liar too. He lies over and over about stuff.
At worst,
the first thing he says on the Pat McAfee show is, "And I didn't lie." Like, yeah, the fuck you did. You lied. Don't get up there and tell another lie saying you didn't lie, because you did fucking lie. And then your holistic doctor that you went to that had 30 years of experience working with stuff like this, which I didn't know COVID's been around for that long, but whatever. That shit didn't help you because you looked sick. And then you ran the big pharma to bail you out.
I'm not mad if he lied to the media and the fans. I'm not too mad about that. I would be more mad if he lied to his teammates, which it doesn't sound like he did. Like, they kind of knew what was up, and he just was.
I think his teammates are more of a person than the fans.
I'm not saying they're more of a person. I'm saying I need that bond better for us to win the championship than I do me knowing his vaccination status.
The reason I disagree with that is because I think, and I used to not think this, but I think very much Aaron cares about his public perception. And so I think it bothers him just as much that people were saying this stuff. That's why he came out and did that rant. Because he was so upset with what people are saying. He pretends like he's this guy that doesn't give a fuck, but he showed his true colors when he came out with that rant. I mean, the guy had pages written of how to answer, how to talk. I've never seen that. He was so upset that people were clowning him, and then he went and made a bigger clown of himself.
Well, I just know I can't clown Colts and Minnesota fans as much anymore about their quarterbacks. At least they answered the question. At least True. They stood on their dumbass beliefs. True.
I'm not saying I agree with them, but at least you stand on your shit.
Yeah, when Rodgers was talking about religious exemptions and what about these people and what about these people, like the NFL obviously thought it was everybody's best interest for the whole league to be vaccinated.
This is what they said about the medical exemption. Yes, one, there's no mandate. You idiot. There's no fucking mandate. So how is there exemption? There's no exemption. Either you're vaxxed or you're not vaxxed. So just because you're religious and then you say it's against my religion to get the vaccine, you're still going to be treated like an unvaxxed player because you're unvaxxed. So when you walk through the facility, you have to wear a mask. God isn't going to protect you. So that doesn't mean that you don't have to wear a mask and follow protocols of somebody that's unvaxxed.
Well, he talks about
a religious exemption would be if there was a mandate. There's no mandate in the NFL.
Well, they went as close as they could to the mandate by making the rules that much harder. And Rodgers talking about draconian rules. They make us wake up. We got to get
No,
tested
that's
every
not a
day.
mandate.
Well, I understand
My
that. But
job, there's a mandate. Where I work, if you didn't get the vax and you didn't get a religious, you got fired. You went home. There was no more. It wasn't like we treat you like this or we treat you like that. No, you don't have a job. That's a mandate.
and when he complains about the rules for it, A, you knew the rules going into it, not getting the vaccine. B, you're part of the players union that also agreed to this. Yeah, the NFL did make it like, yeah, if you're not vaxxed, we're going to treat you like an asshole, so you're more likely to get vaxxed. They basically did do that. Yes, I agree. Some of the shit isn't based in science, and does look like it's an asshole rule, but it was intended to be that way, so you went and got vaxxed, and they agreed to it. So you can't complain that hard or be that mad at everybody else that you have to follow these rules when you knew that going into it, and the players signed off on it. Like
for half of your team.
And the players obviously wanted the same thing. They wanted everybody vaxxed as well because that's what they decided when they agreed with the NFL. So,
if anybody knows, the Player Association, the NFLPA Association, and the NFL both have separate doctors. Both doctors have recommended vaccines.
they're part of the woke mob.
Of course.
That's a real wide conspiracy all the doctors are in on. So just so you know, I've been listening to Joe Rogan. So I'll pass the Aaron Rodgers shit. It is what it is with him. He's a good football player, and he's going to get us this ship, and it's just going to make it that much more interesting this year. And we got more shit to talk about on our podcast every week instead of just the football aspect.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I don't like talking about the off-field bullshit as much, but this has been kind of wild this year. So.
His rant was wild.
Correct. And even like the stupid shit with Odell Beckham, it's basically just a blip on the radar at the end of the season. Especially, it becomes a little more of a blip if we beat his ass in the playoffs. But it's just another thing that Packer fans get all excited about at certain times of the year during trade deadline, or a guy that was released from his team and nobody else claimed him for the amount of money he was supposedly.
This team's so stacked, and they're not even going to win their division. Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Like, they talk about this just being the most stacked team ever. Look at who they got. Well, maybe their backups suck. Maybe the other players fucking suck. Because they're not even going to win their division.
And great. Exactly. You're not guaranteed a championship. You may be all in. They've given away all their draft picks. They've signed and picked up guys. They got all kinds of locker
room. Who was on the dream team? You remember the dream team?
Yeah, the Rams dream team.
No, the Eagles dream team.
Oh, the Eagles. When the Eagles said that, yeah. But
they make the playoffs that year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to have all the injuries fall right for you. You need to have, some things go right for you in the playoffs. So even if you're got the best roster doesn't always win the Super Bowl. And so they could do whatever they want this year, but at least the Packers are going to stay competitive every year. Like we're in it to win the Super Bowl this year, and we don't need to sell the future to do it. You know what I mean? So assuming that Love can improve or if Rodgers is here a few more years, we're definitely in it. So we're going to stay competitive. We don't need to go outside the bounds of what we normally do. We should have, been in Super Bowls last couple of years, to be honest. And if Rodgers wanted to talk a bunch of shit about Grady, he would have been in a couple more Super Bowls. But now we got a defense, and now we got running. Like we got the shit to do it this year. So all this all-in bullshit.
His part.
Yeah, other teams could be all in. I don't give a fuck. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about who wins the actual Super Bowl, not who did what during the year to try to do it. So
I'm just mad that, everybody, they get these brands, it's just like anything else stuck in their head, Von Miller, Odell Beckham. I'm not saying that they aren't,
JJ Watt.
JJ Watt, who got hurt again, surprise, surprise. But people just get a little worked up, over these people that they fell in love with 5-6 years ago in the NFL. Like, this is a young man's game for the most part. You rarely see people in the NFL for 17, 18 years. It's not something that happens a lot, even 10 years. I mean, the average NFL career is probably fucking 2 years? Like,
something like that. Yeah.
so, like, your favorite player can fall off. It happens. It happens all the time in sports. So I think people sometimes get too caught up with the image and forget who the player is on the field. And in Green Bay, that's what the fuck we care about. We don't give a fuck if the motherfuckers were friends with LeBron James or dyes his hair different colors and shit like that. Like, we don't give a fuck about that. Like, I don't care about one-handed catches and shit like that. Like, dog, you have a 50% catch rate this year, catch percentage this year. Like, and you haven't even been on the field most of the time. Like, you're washed, bro. He hasn't had a catch percentage in the 60s in like 4 years. And he's supposed to be this great catcher.
Oh yeah, and Packers fans get their hopes up, and we've been one of those teams that would rather player before the down incline and risk it being like he has another 1 or 2 good years left in him, rather than having to pay him for a year when he's not getting the production. And we'd rather hit on the young guys, and they've shown that over the years. Like, we're not gonna. I'm glad we kept like guys like Mercedes and stuff. You know, you need a couple of veteran leadership, but more often than not, the Packers are making an evaluation whether to pay a guy a big contract into his 30s, and they've been a team that shied away from it usually.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the way that we do things in Green Bay.
Seems to work.
Fine with the way that seems to work. I'm happy.
Someday Goot will stop getting the hate, but it's not going to be this year until we win that shit.
Yeah, we gonna win it, and I'm gonna laugh when the Rams, because the Rams are gonna be a wild card.
They hope.
So they're gonna have to go on the road their first game, even though their home games are like road games. But like, I hope this all works out for them. Hope they're happy. You know, they'll sell a couple more jerseys, some Odell jerseys, some Vaughn jerseys, and there'll be a first round exit in the playoffs if they make it.
Well, with that, get this big dub.
All in.
Yeah, let's get this big dub this week against the Seahawks back at Lambeau. We'll see y'all next week. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. 41 North, bitch.